You are misleading the court. You are not telling the court the honest fact. The version of the accused person is that the first time you appeared in his presence was when you were called to meet with Mr. Mabena and Mr. Mohani next to the garage on the way towards Albertine. Do you dispute that?
Yes, my lord. Can confirm that.
Ngakwazi ukukuletha isiqiniseko sokuthi waqala ukubona lesikhathi ehlangana noMabena noMkhane egarage.
You were traveling with a white GTI in company of another colored male person.
My crew member, my lord, was Constable Lissering. He is a colored, my lord.
Ethi wahamba ngemoto lapho emotweni wahamba neinsizwa ekuthiwa i-colored osithi cha umuntu engisebenzisana naye uConstable Lissering o engisebenzisana naye.
Correct. On that particular day, when you were called by Mr. Mkhane, the accused person, accused number 2, they were traveling with a white Fortuner with Constable Mabena and Constable Mkhane.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi mkhawuhlana naye kwa umsosibili wayehamba noConstable Mabena noMkhane waseyavuma ethi kunjalo.
The accused person was handcuffed from behind whilst he was seated in that white Toyota Fortuner.
The accused was handcuffed in front, my lord.
Ethiwa-ke umbuzo uthi umsolwa wayefakwe ozankosi bengemumva ngesikhathi mhlawumbe hlangana wathi cha umsolwa wayefakwe ozankosi kodwa bebengaphambili.
It is further my instruction that Sergeant Buthelezi and Maphumulo arrived traveling with a hard body, a white hard body bakkie.
Yes, I can confirm, my lord.
Athi angasiletha isiqiniseko sokuthi uSergeant Buthelezi wayehamba nge-hard body emhlophe.
Both Mohane and Mabena alighted from the white Toyota Fortuner, and you had a discussion with him or with them, both of them. You had a discussion with them. Do you agree?
Yes, my lord.
Ngiyavuma ukuthi uMkhane noMabena bathi mabephuma ku-Toyota Fortuner baseba nezingxoxo nabo.
All right. At that time, after that meeting or some kind of meeting, accused number 2 was taken out of the Toyota Fortuner and put into that motor vehicle we were traveling. At the back seat, on the right side of the back seat, of the rear seat of the motor vehicle we were traveling with. Do you dispute that?
Are you referring to Maroka police station, my lord?
Can you please follow my version so that you said I talked about meeting the accused person for the first time, accused number 2, near a garage on the way towards Albertine.
Yes, my lord.
Athi-ke waqala ukubona nomsolwa egaraji endleleni eya e-Albertine wathi yebo.
Yes. When he was taken to a motor vehicle, I was putting the version to the effect that he was put inside a motor vehicle at the back of the driver's seat.
My lord, as I mentioned, I met the accused at Maroka SCPS, not at a garage.
Athi umsolwa-ke wabekwa esihlalweni sangemumva emotweni wahamba ngathi cha hayi ngahlangana naye eMorika police station zange ngihlangane naye egaraji.
All right, you'll get into that. Let's just get into my instructions. Then immediately after that, Constable or Sergeant Mabena entered your vehicle and sat at the back of that motor vehicle on the left-hand side?
No, my lord.
Cha Constable Mabena azange ingene emotweni yami.
The door was open and Constable Buthelezi was standing next to the accused, next to accused number 2.
Sisicaba sasivulekile uConstable Buthelezi wezahlala wema lapho ekuduze nala kuhleli khona umsolo wesibili.
No, my lord.
Athi cha kunjani.
Okay. You then pushed the front seat backwards towards the accused and you pressed him hard, very hard, on his knees with that seat.
Athe waseke usunduza esitulo sangaphambili basunduzela kumsolwa and samcindezela kakhulu.
No, my lord.
Cha kunjani.
At that moment, Sergeant Mabena was putting a grey plastic on his face and Buthelezi was blocking the accused from getting out of the motor vehicle.
Athi ngaleso sikhathi ke uSergeant Mabena wemfaka uplastic ebusweni and uSergeant Buthelezi ke na wemvalela ukuthi angakwazi ukuphuma.
No, my lord.
Cha kunjani.
Sorry, Mr. Mgomezulu, is this at the Alberton garage?
That's correct, my lord.
Outside the garage?
Outside the garage, a distance away from the garage.
Okay.
It is further my instruction that the assault, the tubing continued until you convened another meeting. After you stopped, you convened another meeting after Mr. Mohane received a call. Can you dispute that also?
No, my lord. I was never at a garage with the accused or with Sergeant Mohane.
Kwaqhubeka ukuthi ahlukunyezwe ngifaka eshophu waze wafaka umhlangano athi cha hayi angikaze ngibe egarage no Sergeant Mohane.
Then you got into your vehicles with the accused. Then you proceeded to an open area next to the steel tanks. That area, it's next to a dumping site towards Albertine. That's where all the cars stopped.
Athi ke nahambile ngemoto ke nezinoma la khona amathenga ensimbi khona.
No, my lord. I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Athi cha nginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
Upon your arrival at that place, you all alighted from the motor vehicle, including the accused person. Then Brigadier Gininda arrived in company of a man who was wearing Chris bundles or Chris belts and a lady Mohola.
No, my lord. I have no knowledge of that.
Kwase lapho kufika uBrigadier Gininda hamba nendoda egqoka ama-crossband hamba nomuntu wesifazane okuthiwa uMohola wathi cha angikwazi lokho.
They were traveling in a white BMW.
Bahamba i-BMW emhlophe.
I would not know, my lord.
Athi angeke ngikwaba nalolu lwazi.
There was also a meeting in the presence of Gininda. The accused person, accused number 2, was removed of the handcuffs that were handcuffed from behind, from his hands. That was Mabena who removed those handcuffs from behind.
Kuthiwa ke ngaleso sikhathi ke Brigadier Gininda umsola kwakhishwa ozankosi ababeboshwe ngemuva kwakhe bakhishwa uMabena.
Then his jacket with was taken out
kwamanje ke laseliyakhishwa ke ibhantshi lakhe
he was handcuffed from the front.
base bafaka ozankosi izandla zingaphambili
Can you dispute that also?
ngaphikisa lokho
Yes, my lord. As when I received the accused for the first time, his handcuffs was in front, my lord.
athi yebo ngakuphikisa ngoba mangiqala ke nje ukuthola umsolwa kwayeposhwe ngozankosi izandla zingaphambili
All right. Immediately thereafter, there was, or there is, if those poles or those stairs are still there, where you took the accused person, accused number 2, towards those steel poles and removed one handcuff from one side of his hand and tie it on that pole.
Thiwa ke wakhona la kunetebhisi khona la wafika khona wakhipha isandla esisodwa ukhipha uzankosi esandleni esisodwa wasekumbophela ke kulezo insimbi umsolo
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
cha nginalo ulwazi lwalokho
Then, between yourself, you can't recall, between yourself and Mabena, there's a person who poured him with water. He had a container he had a container and poured the accused with water from his front part of the body.
phakathi kwakho nomabhena akasazi ukuthi umuphi kodwa uthi oyedwa yena wayephethe into ekwazi ukuthutha amanzi owamthela ngamanzi phambili emzimbeni wakhe
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
anginalwazi lwalokho
That's when Brigadier Kininda told accused number 2 that he must tell the truth about the death of Senzumi.
ilapho uBrigadier Kininda athi watshela ukuthi akakhuluma iqiniso mayelana nokushona kaSenzumile
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
anginalwazi lwalokho
And during the course of that, a plastic bag was also put on his face or on covering his head and his face where this tubing continued.
athi yena leso sikhathi ke wathatha uplastiki wafaka phezu kwekhanda lakhe baqhubeka ke umhlomeza ngendlela ibizwa i-tubing ngesilungu
My lord, the first time I met the suspect was at Moroka SAPS, my lord.
qala kwami ukubona umsolwa kusesiphoyiseni sasemoroka
There was a device that was used to electrocute the accused person. He was electrocuted from his stomach.
kuthiwa khona umshini owayesetshenziswa ke ukubambisa umsolwa ngogesi kodwa ke lo mshini lo wawuthintiswa esiswini sakhe umsolwa
You, Mr. Mabena, and Buthelezi were exchanging during the use of this device.
bathi ke wena nomabhena nobuthelezi nanishintshashisana ngokusebenzisa lo mshini lo
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
hayi anginalo ulwazi lwalokho
Before I forget this instruction, it's very important what I'm going to tell you.
khona-ke ngifuna ukutshela khona kusemqoka kakhulu
It's my instruction that from the first time when I put the version of the accused, Sergeant Mkhano did not partake to the assault, tubing, and torturing of the accused. Did not participate. He was always outside.
kuthiwa-ke yonke lento yayenza uSergeant Mkhano wayengekho azange angene ekuhlukumezeni umsolwa ngaso sonke isikhathi wayengaphandle
What do you say about it?
My Lord, Sergeant Mukhane would ask us for assistance in either handing over the suspect or escorting.
uSergeant Mkhane wayesicela usizwa mayelana nokuthi sinikezele ngomsola noma ke ukumphelezela umsola.
I'll get to that as well.
And when the suspect is in the vicinity, my Lord, Sergeant Mukhane is also present.
Manje ke uma ke umsola eseduze uSergeant Mkhane naye ke kwakufanele abe khona lapha eduze.
Okay. Let me proceed with my version, with the version of accused number 2. During the process of using that device, after the plastic was taken out from his head, the accused bled, started bleeding from his nose.
Emva kokuthi ke kususwa lo plastic bese ke lo umsola aqhunye kulo mshini waqala ukopha igazi ngamakhala.
Do you also dispute that?
Ngiyaphikisa
Yes, I do,
nalokho
my Lord.
athi yebo ngiyaphikisa.
That's then Sergeant Mukhane, the accused person, will come and tell the court that he heard Sergeant Mukhane saying, I just want to get the correct word that was used. May I approach my Lord? There's a word, a
Yes,
specific word that was used by Mukhane. Thank you. The exact words said by Sergeant Mukhane was that yekelani man.
Kuthiwa ke izwi lasetshenziswa uSergeant Mukhane ilithi yekelani demand, usho ukuthi yekelani le ndoda.
My Lord, at no point was the suspect in one of our EMPD vehicles during the escort or when taken or handed over at the police station.
Thi umsola akaze angene emotweni zethu ngesikhathi enikezelwa nanokuthi ayokhishwa esikhumulweni samaphoyisa.
That's then accused number 2 was untied and taken back. He was wet, bleeding, and he was taken back to the Toyota Fortuner.
Wathi ke lapho umsola athathwa iswa ku Toyota Fortuner. Ngaleso sikhathi ke wayopha igazi futhi wayemanzi.
You had to travel from that spot as you were escorting. The Toyota Fortuner entered Chris Hani Hospital.
Thiwa ngesikhathi ke nihamba niphelezela umsola Toyota Fortuner yangena esibhedlela saseChris Hani Baragwanath.
My Lord, may I just consult? Thank you. Thank you, Madam. When they when they entered Chris Hani Hospital, Mohano and Mabena and the accused person with the Fortuna, that's when Colonel Rapadu came into the picture.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Athi uma izongena esibhedlela umhane noMabhena uyilapho ke okwavela khona uKenneth Raphat wathi anginalo ulwazi walo.
All right. Colonel Rapadu and got into the vehicle. He gave the keys to his wife, and then they were in company of the child. I think they brought the child to the hospital, but we can't prove that. What the accused number 2 has observed is that Colonel Rapatu gave the keys to his wife.
So Kenneth Raphat wanika unkosikazi wakhe okhiye wayenengane lapho kodwa ke asikho isiqiniseko salokho kodwa ke okwabona umsola wesibili ukuthi uKenneth Raphat wanika unkosikazi wakhe okhiye.
I don't know about that, my lord. I met the Colonel Rapadu for the first time at Moroka SCPS.
Hayi lo anginalwazi lolo kodwa ngaqala ukubona uKenneth Raphat eMoroka police station.
Okay. Soon thereafter, they traveled and you were escorting them to a certain place in Orlando. It's an open area. It's also next to a dumping area where there are ATM machines that were no longer functioning.
Uthi emva kwaloko ke nahamba ke na endaweni ese-Orlando eseduze kwala kuchithwa khona udoti futhi kwakunendawo ke la kunama-ATM khona angasasebenzi.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalwazi lwalokho.
And I want to remind you that according to that version, when accused number 2 said he was poured with water, it was winter time.
Afuna ukunezezela ukuthi ngalesi sikhathi umsola ethelwa ngamanzi kwakusebusika.
You escorted them until you stopped at that particular area, and Brigadier Gininda arrived with those crew members.
Wathi yena waphelezela ukuyofika kuleyo ndawo and futhi ke ilapho ke kwafika khona uKenneth Gininda ehamba nasebenza naye.
My lord, the only escort that was conducted was from Moroka SCPS to Vosloorus Magistrates Court, my lord.
Manje ke ukuphelezela okwenzeka kosuka eMoroka ukubafikisa esipeyisini sase-Vosloorus.
When Brigadier arrived, he opened the book with the boot of the BMW. He sat on the edge of the boot and he took out some documents.
Athi uma efika uBrigadier lapho avula ibhuthu ye-BMW wasisahlala khona lapho kuleyo bhuthu waseveza ngamaphepha athile.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalwazi lwalokho.
All right. Brigadier Gininda took those documents and gave them to Colonel Raphat.
Athi kuBrigadier Gininda wathi mesevula amaphepha anika uKenneth Raphat.
I did not see Mr. Brigadier Gininda at Moroka SCPS.
Ngizange ngimbone uBrigadier Gininda eMoroka police station.
All right. Assault, torture continued.
Athi ukuhlukunyezwa nokushaya kwaqhubeka.
Instructed accused number 2 to sign those documents.
Ngoba bephoqa umsola wesibili ukuthi asayinde lawo maphepha.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Cha anginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
The documents were signed by accused number 2 under that coercion. Lawo maphepha lawa asendwe umsola wesibili ngaphansi kwaleyo ngcindezi. Thereafter, there were certain documents that were not thumbprinted.
Emva kwalokho khona amanye kamaphepha angazange abekwe iminwe.
I would not know about the thumbprint, my lord.
Athi angazi lutho ngaleyo minwe.
Immediately thereafter, accused number 2 was taken to Primrose.
Athi emva kwalokho
Police station.
umsolo wesibili wathathwa iswa esikhumulweni sasemaphoyisa sase-Primrose.
I have no knowledge of that.
Anginalwazi lwalokho.
He was not booked in. Sergeant Mkhano entered the police station with the purpose of booking in accused number 2.
Azange abhaliswe ke lapho kodwa uSecretary Mokhano wangena naye umsolo e-police station enzela ukuthi ayomfaka khona.
I have no knowledge of Jamestown, my lord.
Athi hayi angazi lutho ngeJamestown.
Then, according to his instruction, Sergeant Mabena was talking over the phone in the motor vehicle and informed the person who was talking it with over the phone that Mr. Mokhano is inside the police station.
Manje kusani Mabhena wayekhuluma nomunye ekhuluma ngocingo wasetshela lo muntu ayekhuluma naye ukuthi hayi uSergeant Mokhano ungaphakathi esikhumulweni samaphoyisa.
Upon his arrival back from the police station, Sergeant Mokhano, there was an instruction that they should travel to Rustenburg.
Emva ukuthi aphumeke esikhumulweni samaphoyisa uSergeant Mokhano wayesathola umlayezo ukuthi umyalelo ukuthi akahambe aye eRustenburg.
Were you still escorting them?
Awusabaphelezela?
I was not in Jamestown, my lord.
Ngangingekho eJamestown.
They then traveled to Rustenburg. They were escorted by you. Sorry, may I just correct that? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Manu. The escort actually stopped after that. So they had to travel to Rustenburg, where the accused was residing.
Athi hayi kuphelezelwa kwamakhona lapho ke baseke baqala ukuthi baye eRustenburg la kwakuhlala khona umsolo.
Sorry, I want to understand. So Rapari, Ginanda, Mabena, and all those guys all traveled to Rustenburg, in other words.
Rapati was, may I just take an instruction
Yeah,
regarding?
because as far as I'm concerned,
Rapari.
Ginanda is seated there
Yes,
at the boot of the BMW.
just to,
They give the documents to Rapari. Then everything goes blank. Then people are traveling to Rustenburg. Where is Rapari? Where is Ginina? Where is the lady in white?
may I approach the accused? Thank you, my lord. Thank you for your indulgence. My instruction is that Colonel Rapat, he actually left with Brigadier Kininda
Umyalelo wami uthi uKolonel Rapad wahamba no Brigadier Kininda
because he was not present when the accused was taken to Primrose Police Station.
ngoba engekho ngesikhathi umsolo ayiswa esikhumulweni samaphoyisa sase-Primrose.
On the way to Rustenburg, where they met Brigadier Kininda in the presence of Sergeant Mohola,
Manje kumele eRustenburg la bahlangana khona noGininda no-Sergeant Mohola.
the accused person was left attended in the motor vehicle, in the Toyota Fortuner, and they proceeded to his place.
Manje ke umsola wayeshiywe ke emotweni iFortuna and then base ke beyaqhubeka beya la ehlala khona.
That's when Sergeant Mabena came back in possession of a black plastic bag, which he said they found ammunition in his room.
Ilapho abuya khona uSergeant Mabena ephethe plastic omnyama athi khona babuya nenhlamvu zesibhamu.
Then accused number 2 asked Mabena, how did you enter his room? Because he was in possession of the keys.
Manje umsola sibili waseyabuza ukuthi hawange ungene kanjani lapha kulelo gumbi ngoba mina ukhiye ngisabaphethe.
Then there was no answer from them.
Ayizange ke kube nempendulo kuloko.
You can't comment on it.
I have no knowledge of that, my lord.
Anginalwazi lolo.
Let's get into the 24th of June 2020.
Asiye ke umhla 24 uJune 2020
When the accused was escorted to Boksburg court,
uma ke umsola esephelezelwa ke enkantolo yaseBoksburg
where was he escorted from?
waphelezelwa esuka
From Mood SAPS.
wayesuka eMoat SAPS
By who?
wayephelezelwa kwa
By myself and few other members.
wayephelezelwa yimina nabanye ke engisebenzisana nabo abambalwa.
What time was it?
Kwesikhatsini
It was in the afternoon, my lord.
kuyintambama
In the afternoon, what time?
ntambama sikhatsini
Approximately from 1 up to 2, my lord.
ingaba kuyila esiphakathi kwamahora lika-1 nelesibili.
So I want to check if that time frame makes sense of your evidence. From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
Funeka kuhlola ukuthi la mahora ngiyona ka-1 nelika-2 ayazwakala yini.
I want to be sure as to what time did you arrive with accused number 2 at Boksburg court.
Ngifuna nje ukubhekisisa ukuthi nafika ngasikhatsini nomsolo wesibili enkantolo yaseBoksburg.
The exact time, my lord, I can't recall, but as far as I know, it was in the afternoon, my lord.
Angeke ngitshele ukuthi kwakuyisikhatsini kodwa ke engingakusho ukuthi kwakuyintambama.
Okay, let me just clarify this because I have the statement of Mohola that I'm going to use later. How many-
Ngifuna ukuchaza ke la ngoba nestatement sikaMophola engizobuyela kusona emva kwesikhathi.
How many times did you escort accused number 2 to Boksburg court? How many times in different days? How many times?
Wamphelezela kangaki umsolwa ey'nsukwini ezehlukile ukuya eBoksburg?
It was only twice, my lord. First time was from Moroka to Vosloorus. Second time was from Mood SAPS to Boksburg Magistrates Court.
Wamphelezela kabili wayesuka eMoroka kuye eVosloorus okwesibili kwakusuka eMoat kuyimisa eBoksburg.
All right. So this time between 1 and 2 is associated which escort from Vosloorus to Moroka or from Moat to Boksburg?
From Mood to Boksburg, my lord.
Wathi isikhathi esikhuluma ngaso sika-1 no-2 sisikhuluma ngalesi sikhathi ke ephelezelwa esuka eMoat eyiswa eBoksburg.
All right. So from Moat to Boksburg, that's the time when the magistrate had to actually took a confession from the accused.
That's correct, my lord.
bathi kusuka emoto ke Boksburg ila imantshi eyakwazi ukuthatha istatement kumso.
Okay. There's an entry that the accused person was booked at. Might just confirm that. Okay. All right, thanks. So the magistrate, upon her arrival at Boksburg prison, at Boksburg police station, sorry, Boksburg court, did she find you there?
Manje misizofika ke imantshi eBoksburg court yanithola lapha.
No, my lord, as we went to Ms. Cronier's office.
Bathi cha ngoba thina saya ofisini lika Miss Cronje.
So you arrived first before Mrs. Cornier.
Manje ke nina ngafika kuqala ngafika Mrs. Cronje.
No, my lord, when we arrived at the office, Ms. Cronier was at her office.
No ukuthi masifika ofisini lakhe samthola ekhona office lakhe.
According to her evidence, she said when she arrived at Boksburg prison, in Boksburg court, in the passage, there were Metro Police officers that were heavily armed.
Uthi kumefika lapho ke eBoksburg kodwa wathola kunamaphoyisa ayehlome kakhulu amaphoyisa emetro.
I'm sure she was referring to us, my lord, as we were armed on the day.
Mhlawumbe wayekhuluma ngathi ngoba sasihlomile ngalelo la.
Her testimony is that when the people that she saw were the heavily armed Metro Police officer, there was a man that was handcuffed and a man that was wearing a suit. That was her evidence.
Uthi ke umelethe ufakazi bakhe uthi ke wathi mebona amphoyisa ahlome kakhulu wakhona indoda eyayiboshwe ngozankosi kwakukhona futhi nendoda eyayigqoka isuti la.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi kunjalo.
So that means you arrived first
Manje
because
lokho
she's the one who found you there.
manje lokho kuchaza ukuthi inini nafika kuqala ngoba yena wanithola lapha.
My lord, we arrived in the passage, or we were standing in the passage on our way or in front of Ms. Cronier's office.
But hayi thina sasime nje epassage sisendleleni yokuya noma ukuba phambi kwehhovisi lika Miss Cronje.
But my question was, did you arrive before Mrs. Cronje arrived at Boksburg court, or she arrived first?
Buzo wami ukuthi yini nafika kuqala noma Miss Cronje wafika kuqala lapha.
My lord, we were only given instruction as to the office we should take the accused to.
Athi cha esasikwazi nje ukuthi sasitshelwe silayelwe ukuthi siye ehhovisi lithize.
Okay. It's your evidence that you were, Mr. Mohano is the one who make copies of your certificates.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi umukhano yena wenza amakopi ama-certificate zethu athi yebo kunjalo.
On that day, you had your pocketbooks.
Ngalelanga naniphethe ama-pocket book in.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
So it must have been recorded in your pocketbooks as to when did you arrive there.
Kufanele ukuthi kwaqoshwa kuma-pocket book enu ukuthi nafika ngasikhathini la.
That's correct, my lord.
Wathi kunjalo.
All right. Then you made copies of yourself, of your certificate, and handed them to Sergeant Mohano. You said you did not enter the the office when the accused was interviewed.
That's correct, my lord.
Athi nenza izitifiketi zenu nasenzinika uSergeant Mokhane nathi ke futhi anizange ningene ngesikhathi umsolwa kuzokhulunywa nawe athi yebo kunjani.
All right. So prior to the closing of the door of room 2, where Mrs. Cronje was, and the process of interviewing the accused number 2, where did you go?
Manje emva kokuthi kuvalwe isicabha kulelo office lesibili nokuthi ke umsolwayo ngaleso sikhathi ke sekukhulunywa naye la ngaphakathi kulelo gumbi lelo nina nasala naya
We were outside at the vehicles, my lord.
sasengaphandle ezimotweni.
Okay. So after the whole process was done and dusted, you then escorted the accused.
Ngemva konke lokhu sekuphelele napheleza lumsolwa futhi
Sergeant Mokhane then called us and told us that the statement was now completed. We walked back into the magistrate's court and we escorted the suspect to the vehicles, my lord.
Ave siyafika ke uSergeant Mokhane sitshela ukuthi hayi statement sisithathiwe sasisingena ngaphakathi siyophelezela umsolwa simthatha ngaphakathi enkantolo zaseBoksburg.
Okay. So where did you travel from there?
Manje nasisenihamba niyaphi kusuka lapho?
From the vehicles, my lord, the suspect was in handcuffs. He was placed into the Fortuner of Sergeant Mokhane.
Kuya lapho emotweni ke umsolwa wayefakwe izankosi wayesethathwa ke eyiswa emotweni Fortuner wayesebekwa ezandleni enikezela ezandleni zika Sergeant Mokhane.
And from Boksburg Magistrates Court, we conducted the escort straight to Moot SAPS.
Nje kusuka lapho eBoksburg sabe sesibaphelezela sibayisa eMoot SAPS.
All right. Let me just put this version of accused number 2 before we proceed. Immediate accused number 2 will tell the court that inside during after the alleged statement was, sorry, let me just put it this way. The version of the accused person is that he did not sign any document inside the office of Mrs. Cronje.
So lesibili uzothi yena azange sayinde lutho ngaphakathi kwehhovisi lika Mrs. Cronje.
I would not know, my lord.
Cha angeke ngaba nalolu lwazi.
You took the accused person to Germiston.
Athi nathatha umsolwa namisa eJermiston.
No, my lord.
Athi cha
At Germiston, you went to an industrial area. According to accused number 2, you went to an industrial area where you parked the motor vehicles. Accused was assaulted again.
so eJermiston nahamba la kunama factory khona la enafika khona namisa imoto umsolwa eseyashawa futhi.
Then he was ordered to sign the documents.
Manje wayesecindezelwa ukuthi akasayine lawo ma-document.
And the documents that he said he signed, his blood spilled on those documents.
Wathi ke ilapho ke afika wathi uma esayina lawo ma-document kwase kuba negazi ke lakhe elawela kuwo la ma-document.
My lord, from the magistrate's court up to Moot SAPS, I did not see any injuries on the accused up to the completion of the escort, my lord.
The ukuthi isikhathi sonke la besiphelezela umsolwa ngizange ngibone ukushaya kamsolwa.
Okay. Now, during the course of this trial, within the trial, a pro forma completed by Mrs. Cronje, the magistrate, and the statement was shown to accused number 2, which he denied to be the statement, because the reason is that the documents that he was led to sign must have had some marks of blood stains.
manje ke uthi ke lama document lawa alethwa phambi kwakhe uthi umsola waphi ukuthi ama document akhe ngesikhathi kwenza icala lingaphakathi kwecala, ngoba uthi yena lawo yena awabona ama document awasayindile kwakuphoqelekile ukuthi akube nanamachashaza egazi la ayewele khona kulawo maphepha.
I would not know, my lord.
Ngeke ngibe nalolu lwazi.
Okay. So you say you transported him to Pretoria Ward.
That's correct.
Athi namphelezela nami isemoto athi yebo.
Do you know what time was he booked?
Sasikhathi
Was he booked in?
ukuthi wafakwa nini?
Our arrival at Moot, my lord, was around, it was between 6 and 7 o'clock in the evening, my lord.
Fika kwathi wethu umuntu kwawuphakathi ihora lesithupha nelesikhombisa kuseni.
Who booked him in?
Banomfaka lapho umbhalisa lapho.
Sergeant Mukhane, my lord.
Athi kwaba uSergeant Mukhane.
So that was the last time you saw accused number 2
That's correct, my lord.
Athi kwawo ukugcina ngibona umsola wesibili.
until you saw him today.
That's correct, my lord.
Ngiqala futhi ukumbona futhi namhlanje.
Okay. So do you know that accused number 2 did not take bath since the 16th of June 2020? Do you know?
I don't know, my lord.
Athi yazi ukuthi umsola wesibili akaze ageze kusuka mhla 6 kuJune 20.
June
June 20?
2020.
Athi kusuka mhla 16 kuJune 2020 umsola akaze ageze.
And he has never been in contact of his family.
Athi futhi akaze nje athintane nobumndeni wakhe.
I don't know that, my lord.
Athi anginalo ulwazi lwalokho.
All right. So are you aware that accused number 2 was kept in custody from the day you booked him until 21st of March 2021?
Athi yazi ukuthi umsola wayevalelwe kusuka ukufika umhla ka1 kuMarch 2021
From the day he was booked in at Pretoria Moot.
kusukela evalelwe ePretoria Mall.
Do you know that?
Uyakwazi lokho?
No, my lord.
Cha ngikwazi.
Let's get into the escort where you took the accused person from Vosloorus to Moroka police station.
Asikhulume ngokuniphelezela umsola kusuka eVosloorus ukumisa eMoroka.
My lord, the escort was only from Moroka to Vosloorus, not the other way around.
Athi
Alright.
cha kwakumphelezela ukusuka eMoroka kuye eVosloorus hayi ukumsusa eVosloorus umisa eMoroka.
Thanks for the clarification.
Ngiyabonga ukuthi ungichazele.
All right. From Moroka police station, are you saying he was at that time after he was with Colonel Rapat?
Uthi ke ukusuka lapha eMoroka usho ukuthi kwakungemva kokuthi abe no naliphoyisa okuthiwa Rapat.
Clarify, my lord.
I'm saying
Ngicela
at that time when you escorting accused from Moroka, that was when he made a statement, the alleged statement from Colonel Rapat.
Wathi ukusuka umphelezela usuka lapha eMroka kokuyila esethathe khona istatement esithathiswe uRaphat.
That's correct, my lord.
Wathi kunjalo.
So, were you present when there was a discussion between Sergeant Mokhane and Colonel Raphat?
Okhona yini makunengxoxo phakathi kaMokhane, Sergeant Mokhane no Colonel Raphat?
No, my lord.
No, I wasn't.
But
Cha ngangingekho.
But it's your evidence that after the interrogation, after the taking of the confession, you escorted the accused to Sergeant Mokhane.
Manje uthi emva kokuthi avume icala umsolo wena wamphelezela ukuya ku Sergeant Mokhane.
Once the statement was completed, my lord, I received the suspect from Colonel Rapadu and I took the suspect to Sergeant Mokhane's vehicle.
Wathi emva kokuthi sithathe i-statement ngamthatha umsolo. You took him
From the Colonel
Colonel who?
Rapadu
Ngamthatha umsolo ngimsatha Colonel Rapadu
to the vehicle parked outside.
ngamisa ke emotweni ayipakwe ngaphandle.
All right. Do you know what time was it when you first took accused to Colonel Rapadu's office?
Manje uyazi ukuthi kwasikhatsini umuzothatha umsolo umise ehhovisi likaRaphat.
It was in the morning, my lord. As I mentioned, I was the first to arrive.
Kwakusekuseni njengoba besengishilo ke kwayimina wafika kuqala.
If you had your pocketbook, you would precisely tell the court what time you arrived. Do you agree?
That's correct, my lord.
Wathi uma ukuthi ubonayo ke pocketbook yakho uzokwazi ukusinika isikhathi esiqondile wathi yebo.
But was it after 9, after 11?
As I can recall, my lord, I arrived around 6:30, so it might have been at 7, my lord.
Wathi njengoba besengichazile ke mina ngafika ngo6 lapho usho ukuthi ke isikhathi ke kwakuzoba kuyisikhathi zo7.
Yes. Now, Colonel Rapadu is done with the suspect. They are now handing over the suspect to Sergeant Mokhane. Did they tell you where were they heading to?
Manje Sergeant Raphat seqedile kusumisa ke ku Sergeant Mokhane. Wakutshela yini ukuthi baya?
My lord, the suspect was handed over to me, not Sergeant Mokhane.
Umsola wanikezela kumina azange nikezele kuMokhane.
You handed over the suspect to Sergeant Mokhane.
That's correct.
Bathi wena wanikezela umsola ku Sergeant Mokhane wathi yebo kunjalo.
Were you told or asked to escort them to Boksburg police station, to Boksburg court?
Awulayeleliwe ke ukuthi ubaphelezele baye eBoksburg.
To Vosloorus court, my lord.
Yes, to Vosloorus.
Yes, my lord.
Yes.
Vosloorus.
They told you the reason why you were to escort them to Vosloorus court.
Wachazela ukuthi yini sizathu awufaka ukukhokhela ukuthi bayise eVosloorus.
It was mentioned that the accused had a court appearance in Vosloorus, my lord.
Kwavezwa ukuthi umsolo ake ufanele ayovela phambi kwesenkantolo yaseVosloorus.
For which case do you know?
I don't know, my lord.
Athi angazi ukuthi kuliphi icala.
All right. So upon your arrival at Vosloorus court, you remained behind. Where was the accused?
Manje uma nifika eVosloorus wena wasala wayelapha umsolo.
The accused was together with Sergeant Mokhane entering Vosloorus court, my lord.
Umsolo kwahamba noSergeant Mokhane bengena enkantolo yaseVosloorus.
We were outside at the vehicles.
Thina sasengaphandle sisemotweni.
Where was Sergeant Mabena?
Sergeant Mabena wayelapha.
I can't recall, my lord.
Angikwazi ukukhumbula lokho.
All right. So the accused person, in respect of that evidence, will deny that he ever entered for the Foslorus court.
So la ke yena ke uzophika ukuthi wakangena enkantolo yaseFoslorus.
My lord, the accused did enter the court as part of completion of our escort. We saw him ourselves, my lord, entering the court.
Manje ukuphetha ukumphelezela umsolwa sabona ukuthi nange umsolwa uyangena ecourt yaseFoslorus.
Was he received by the police officers to know?
Wamkelwa amaphoyisa yenu yazi?
We only saw him entering the court, my lord.
Wathi cha sagcina singumbona engena enkantolo.
He never, according to you, he never entered, or according to the information you got from either Mabena or Mukhane, did he ever enter the holding cells of Foslorus police station, or police court, the holding cells? Did he enter those cells?
I don't know, my lord.
Wathi wambona yini wena ngolwazi lwathi owalithola kuMabhena noMkhana wangena yini emaselini aseFoslorus wathi cha angikwazi lo.
From what distance did you keep when Sergeant Mukhane entered the court, Foslorus court, with the accused? From what distance did you keep?
Wena wakude kanganani ke uma Bhena ezongena nomsolwa enkantolo yaseFoslorus?
My lord, the entrance for the accused persons is at the back of the court, my lord, or on the side.
Manje la kungena khona abasolwa ingemumva kwenkantolo noma ngapha ngaseceleni.
So you're telling the court that you did not actually see, or you could not be in a position to see where Mukhane and the accused entered.
Manje uchaza ukuthi wena awukwazanga ukubona noma awuzange ubone uma uMkhane engena nomsolwa ngaphakathi.
I want to further elaborate, my lord, on that point.
Funa
That
ukucacisa ngephambili kulolu phuzu.
once you entered where the accused persons are supposed to enter, it's a separate door, my lord, or a gate.
Manje masungenile la kungena khona abasolwa umnyango wehlukile noma kuyisangwane elihlukile.
Were you in a position to see them?
Yes, my lord.
Wathi yebo ngakwazi ukubabona.
You can see from the parking area, my lord.
Wathi la esesibaye khona awukwazi ukubona.
No. So is that part of escorting an accused person? When you left him with somebody and kept a distance away from him?
Manje lokho kuseyingxenye yokuphelezela umuntu uma ukuthi ufika umnikezele omunye umuntu bese uyabayeka bahambe bodwa.
My lord, he was not left. He was in our vicinity and visible to us at all times.
Azange ahambe wayekhona ebonakala phambi kwethu simbona sonke isikhathi.
Yes, but my point is, it's a different scenario than the escort at Boksburg Court, where the accused person, when he entered room 2, you then went back to the motor vehicle.
Athi kehluka-ke Boksburg ngoba wathi mengena egumbini lesibili kwaba kuyimani kwaze ukusuka lapho.
In this case, sorry, may I just draw the distinction? In this case, you remain in the parking lot, you let Mukhane in with the suspect.
Manje kulesi sikhathi esikhuluma ngaso nina nasale parking namiyela uMkhane wahamba wayongena nomsolwa ngaphakathi.
Do you see the difference?
Yabona mehluko?
I see what you are saying, my lord. And to confirm that, my lord, as far as I know, my lord, every magistrate's court has a holding cell. And in order to access the holding cell, my lord, there is a separate entrance to the court.
Adi hayi ke kuchaza lokho yonke inkantolo zinale ndawo iseli la kubekwa khona abasolo bengakanye and futhi kusuka lapho ke yila bekwazi ke ukungena enkantolo khona.
Of course, that will also include Boksburg Court. It has a holding cell.
Nalesi Boksburg Court ikhona leyo holding cell.
That's correct, my lord.
Wathi njani?
So from where we were parked, we were in view of the entrance to the holding cells, my lord.
Bathi la
Or the door,
esasikhona ke sasikwazi ukubona umnyango ukungena kuma holding cells.
because it's a separate parking, my lord.
Ngoba la akuyona iparking enye parking nje ehlukile.
All right, let's move on. So Sergeant Mkhano went in with the suspect. They came back. At what stage did you escort them to the motor vehicle?
Manje umkhana ke wangena nesuspect waseyabuya mina ke naba thathanini baphelezela ngemotweni.
My lord, as I mentioned, when we arrived at Foslores Court, the suspect and Sergeant Mukhane entered the court, my lord.
Njengoba sengishilo uma sifika ecourt ke umsola noSergeant Mkhane bangena enkantolo.
And then from the court, my lord, is where we dispersed,
Manje kusuka enkantolo ila esahlukanayo.
because our escort was completed at that point.
Ngoba ngaleso sikhathi ke baphelezela kwethu ke kwasekuphelile.
Was it not necessary for you to escort Mkhano and the suspect back to the police station where the accused was kept? Was it not necessary?
Kwangadingekini ukuthi niphinde niphelezele umsola kusuka le enkantolo ukumisa le kule police station la eboshwe khona.
No, my lord, as our shift was already completed at that time.
Cha bengeke kwenzeke ngoba thina ke sasisiphumile emsebenzini sishayisile.
Okay. So the normal shift, if you are working day shift, from what time to what time?
Manje ishift yena ejwayelekile iqala ngasikhatsini iyophuma ngasikhatsini.
We work 8-hour shifts, my lord.
Sisebenza amahora ayisishiyagalombili.
I can't speculate, sir. From what time to which time?
Qala ngasikhatsini kuyofika ngasikhatsini.
For example, my lord, if we start 6 o'clock in the morning, our shift will end at 2 o'clock, my lord.
Ake ngibekise kanje uma siqale ngo6 sigcine siphume emsebenzini ngo2.
So, according to your evidence, you reported. So, is it clear that you reported at 6 when you took the suspect to Colonel Rappad
So manje usho ukuthi ungena
to Morocco
emsebenzini
police station?
ngo6 eMorocco police station la oyothatha khona umsolo.
I reported on duty at 6, my lord. My
Bathi
arrival at Morocco, as I was the first to arrive, was around 6:30, my lord.
bathi ngihambe ngayongena emsebenzini ngo6 wathi ufika wami eMorocco kwaku 6:30.
Thanks. So you, all right, I understand the logic. You reported on duty at 6 o'clock, then you expected to knock off at 2 o'clock on that day.
That's correct, my lord.
Okay, ngalelela ngangena ngo6 ngangifanele ke ngishayise ngo2 ngalelela wathi yebo kunjani.
So I just want to clarify or to get clarity in terms of when they entered, immediately when they entered, did you notice your time? When they entered Foslores Court, did you check your time?
Mase bengena eFoslores Court wena wasibheka isikhathi.
Yes, my lord, it was near 2 o'clock.
Wathi yebo kwaku seduze isikhathi sika 2 o'clock.
All right. So that means it makes sense when you say it was your knock-off time at 2 o'clock.
That's
But my concern is the next shift in terms of the escorting services was expected to start from 2 o'clock onwards.
manje kusho ukuthi ke ababezo ngoba nina nasenishayisile kusho ukuthi ababezongena emsebenzini bafanele baqale ngo-2 ukuya phambili.
That's only upon request, my lord.
Athi ke hayi lokho kwenzeka uma sicelile.
So I'm still, because it was very imperative for you to escort the suspect from Pretoria Mall up to all the relevant places where you took the suspects to.
Manje wawumsebenzini ukuthi phelezele umsola kusuke ePretoria Mall kuzo zonke indawo la engicela ukuthi nimise khona.
Yes, my lord.
Kunjani?
The significance of this escorting should have been seen when you knocked off and the next shift proceeded to escort.
Manje umqoka lokumphelezela umsola bebonakalile ngalesi sikhathi ke nina uzofika isikhathi sokuthi nishayise bese kungena abanye emsebenzini.
My lord, that is dependent on the investigating officers, my lord.
Hayi lokho ke kuphuma kumpheyi.
So it was not a prescribed procedure of escorting. This is just a procedure created by the investigating officer.
So ukuthi akuyona ke indlela ebekiwe yokuthi ni umuntu nemphelezela kanjani. Kodwa okunje ile ndlela ayeshele ngayo umphenyi wecala.
My lord, the investigating officer was aware that it was approaching our knock-off time, and prior arrangements to that, the investigating officer should do, my lord.
Manje umphenyi ke wecala wayazi ukuthi sifanele sishayise okufanele kube khona kulungisana.
All right. After you have rendered your services up to 2 o'clock, did you bother to call the investigating officer that this is knock-off time and we are seizing our escort? Are there any necessary arrangements that you have made?
Manje ngalesi sikhathi masenibona ukuthi nizoshayisa nakhuluma yini nomphenyi wecala nimtshela ukuthi ayiseseduze isikhathi sethu sokuthi sishayise manje kusodingeka ukuthi kube khona uhlelo oluthize olulungisayo.
The investigating officer was aware of that, my lord.
Umphenyi wecala wayekwazi lokho.
But that has never been discussed with you. It's just an assumption that he knew about it.
Kusho ukuthi ke lokho ke akuzange kukhulume into nje nanicabange.
It was not discussed, my lord.
Akuzange kuqoqwe.
When I took the instructions from accused 1 and 2, you are always in the picture. There's no other shift.
Ngithatha umlayelo wami kumsolo oqala nomsolo wesithupha. Wena kuyabonakala ukuthi nje uhlala unjalo ubonakala la.
It's you, Khadebe, Mapumul. You are always in the shift.
Wena ke noHadebe noMaphumulo kuyabonakala ukuthi hayi nihlanisa emsebenzini.
No one is replacing you.
Akekho oza azoniphumuza.
Do you know the reason why?
Yazini isizathu.
My lord, I can speculate that it might be a trust factor, my lord.
Ngicabangela ukuthi mhlambe kwenziwa ukuthi sasithembekile.
Yes. You are the most trusted person. Because when you ascended that box, accused number 2 called me.
Yebo wena uthenjwe kakhulu ngoba uthe ungena lapha ebhokisini umsolo wesibili wayengibiza.
And told me that when I see this man, I feel like crying the way he was beating me.
Othi hayi mangibona le ndoda lena ngizwa sengathi ngakhala ngendlela ayingishaya ngayo.
I'm traumatized.
Angisahlukumezekile.
What do you say about that?
Thini ngalokho?
I don't know the accused, my lord.
Angimazi umsolo.
That's why if you don't know the accused, but Brigadier Gininda trusts you.
Kodwa noma ungamazi umsolo othi uBrigadier Gininda ayokethemba.
My lord, the trust was built over a few occasions that we worked together.
Wathi ke lokwethembana ke kwakheka ngezikhathi lapho ke esasisebenza naye esikhathini ezimbalwa.
Lord, can you adjourn for a short break?
Is it for the tea?
That's correct.
Okay. 15 minutes.